Hey Martha, it's Jackie again, and have I the database for you? So you wanted things to help your paper maybe more exciting, some pros and cons, that sort of thing. Um, that's where peer review resources are a little less helpful and where some other databases and other tools are. So Academic Search Complete, to meet that peer review requirement, definitely the best place to go. But for the other part of your paper, which is telling that story about wind turbines, the impacts on humans, probably, I'm sure it's interesting ecosystems, ecology, that sort of thing. There's another database that's a little bit more useful for that regard. You may have used it before. It's called Opposing Viewpoints. So same, basically, place. Academic Search Complete over here under Advanced. Opposing Viewpoints is here to the left. And this is a database I like to introduce people to if they're not, if they don't know what they want to research, they just know they suddenly have a 5-page paper. You're not in that situation, you know your topic. But they tend to break down topics in these larger subject areas, whether, wind turbines really do cross a lot of areas. They cross science, technology, and ethics. They cross, maybe also health and medicine, certainly business and economics and energy. So you could try renewable energy, but what I found, because I did a little browse first, was I just typed in wind. You could type in wind power to broaden your search a little bit. It's a little bit more broad than the specific technology of wind turbines. But, totally up to you. Let's go ahead and type in the word wind turbine. It should bring up the same results as wind turbines, but maybe not. Now I'm curious. Sorry, I'm going to guinea pig you here. So I just did, as you saw, wind turbine. Most databases correct that. Isn't that funny? So that actually, that having the S makes a difference in this database. We both learned something. So what's helpful with this database is that it offers things like viewpoints. They're kind of a regular person's point of view, but they're more kind of maybe that journalist level point of view, kind of someone who's looked into this a little bit, and not just necessarily a guy on the street point of view. So it's going to be a little bit more informed point of view. For a regular person point of view, really at that level, the newspapers might be a good place to go, in the opinion section of the newspaper. And actually Academic Search Complete would have that information. You could maybe type in wind turbines and public opinion and see what comes up. There's also a resource, this is a web-based resource called the Pew, as someone is facing out, the Pew Research Center. Pew is P-E-W. Research Center. It's a fabulous database, usually research-based, but that's a lot of what they do is they get public opinion polls if you want to go in that direction. Anyway, so there's viewpoints here. There's actually a total of 20. They always list a top 3, so you would just click here to get more of these. In fact, I'll go ahead and click on that. And some things that, I didn't think, about, though you probably did because you've been thinking about this, property values, so human health, property values, something with birds, of course, and the environment. Does it not, unreliable, expensive and disruptive, bird populations, all those things, speak to that. So if you find one that you like, you would just click on it. If you do find one you like, I would suggest also looking at the other point of view, even if you don't agree with it, off the bat. Because for your paper to be well-rounded, you might want to acknowledge, other people, well, I'm arguing this in my paper, other people think X, Y, and Z, and you address that. So it makes your paper a better paper. So I think we looked at Gale before in the last video. This is also a database operated by Gale, so similar tools, the citation tools here on the right, that sort of thing. Again, you can limit, find related subjects. But yeah, they really speak to it. They're usually short. When it comes to the viewpoints, they have other documents that you might want to take a look at. A lot of these, I would just plunk them into Google and see what's out there. And so, in fact, here's some newspapers right here that I mentioned earlier that might have some interesting, people-based articles and such. So going back, so those are the viewpoints further down in that main list of format. Academic journals, again, usually peer-reviewed. Stats, really powerful, potentially. Really cool audio, and these are all downloadable. So if you have a, I don't know, like an iPhone or an Android, whatever, I think you can even download it to your computer and you want to listen to these reports. These are kind of cool. And again, always the top 3. There's a total of 42. Most of them are going to be from NPR. So they're kind of cool. Some general news, some fun images, not that you need that. Great videos. Yeah, it's a pretty fun. Usually this is the first database I show people whenever I walk into a class, because it is so useful to get you into your subject. And then most people start here, and then you're usually ready to dig a little bit deeper into Academic Search Complete. That's certainly what I found. So anyway, hope this helps. Much shorter video, right? So yeah, take a look at these. I think you have a lot of great topics. I think it's just maybe finding some language, picking a top. That's what I'm hearing a little bit in your email, that you need to probably pick a top 3 things that you want to say, maybe at the most, maybe 1 to 3 things that you really want to argue or say in your paper about this resource. So, and it's just kind of picking those out, identifying them in your introduction, speaking to them in each of your paragraphs, of course, and then wrapping it up with your conclusion, with your point of view. So anyway, I hope this helps. People get lost in this database. They have a lot of fun with it usually. So if you didn't like research before, this database usually changes people's minds. Yeah. Anyway, again, email me if you need anything.